U.S. President Donald Trump says Washington is holding good talks with Iran and believes there is a chance of reaching a deal, but has warned that American airstrikes will resume if diplomacy fails. His comments come just days after the United States abruptly paused its air campaign, even as fresh attacks were reported across the region. President Donald Trump says the United States is engaged in what he described as good talks with Iran and believes there is a genuine chance of reaching an agreement. Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, Trump said Washington was currently in negotiations with Tehran and remained hopeful that diplomacy could succeed. However, he warned that if talks failed to produce results, the United States would quickly resume the military campaign it suspended over the weekend.
Their whole shoreline's wiped out. The strait is in very good shape. And we're talking right now. They wanted to talk. Their people said, please don't shoot last night, the night before, 2 nights. Don't do it. We're having good talks. So we'll see what happens. I think there's a good chance that something could happen. And if it does, good. If it doesn't, we go back to doing what we were doing 2 days ago.
The remarks come after Washington unexpectedly halted its 2-week air campaign against Iran on Saturday, marking another major shift in U.S. strategy during the 5-month conflict. The suspension paused a series of American strikes that had targeted Iranian military infrastructure amid tensions over the Strait of Hormuz and regional security. While Trump suggested diplomacy could now take priority, he made clear the military option remains on the table should negotiations collapse. Despite the pause in American airstrikes, tensions across the region remain high. Saudi Arabia said it intercepted drones targeting petroleum facilities, including sites near the capital Riyadh. According to Saudi authorities, the drones were launched from Iraq by Iran-backed armed groups. Riyadh condemned the attacks and said it reserves the right to respond. Meanwhile, Iran's Houthi allies in Yemen claimed responsibility for an attack on Saudi Arabia's east-west pipeline, which carries crude oil to the Red Sea port of Yanbu. The Houthis said the strike was retaliation for what they described as repeated Saudi drone incursions into Yemeni airspace. Iran, however, has publicly insisted it is not seeking to resume formal peace negotiations with the United States.
هیچ وقت اجازه ندادیم و اجازه نخواهیم داد که آمریکا تعیین کننده زمان جنگ و صلح باشه. ما تا هر زمان که منافعمون اقتضا بکنه، مصالحمون اقتضا بکنه، دفاع میکنیم. هر وقت احساس بکنیم که میتوانیم از ابزار دیپلماسی استفاده بکنیم برای حفظ منافع ملی، حتما به عنوان یک ابزار ازش استفاده خواهیم کرد.
Tehran said it would suspend its own attacks only for as long as President Trump's self-imposed ceasefire remains in effect. Iranian officials also maintained that they continue to control the Strait of Hormuz, rejecting repeated U.S. demands that commercial shipping be allowed to move freely through the strategic waterway. The Strait of Hormuz remains one of the world's most important energy routes, carrying a significant share of global oil exports. Although President Trump says diplomacy may offer a path out of the conflict, fresh attacks across the region and Iran's continued insistence on controlling the Strait of Hormuz underline how fragile the current pause remains, with both sides signaling that military action could quickly resume if negotiations break down.